So next up, we got Arif, lithea AI's CEO. They are the first company that promote the idea of INFT. It was very interesting. Please give them a round of applause.
Hello, everyone. It's a privilege to be here in the depths of the bear market, to have so many people still interested about the future of NFTs. This is probably the most information-dense slide, just one. Where we are today with another technological revolution that's happening on the tangent to NFTs, the machine learning revolution, we're at the point where that y-axis, that dotted line exists towards the end. The past 30 to 40 years of machine learning, what we've seen is you needed a human to write code. Where we are going today, as we cross this chasm, is we're starting to see code writing code. That means derivative code being created by AI agents. And I think this is a very interesting, powerful technology that's coming. And it's going to be really increasingly relevant and important to NFTs. Why? Our thesis is that when you look at static image NFTs today, they are the first version of what NFTs are capable of. You then had people innovating at the medium level and creating GIFs and videos. Where we want to go, what we are positioning NFTs as, what we think is deeply interesting, is the concept of the INFT, the intelligent interactive NFT that has AI embedded in it. Now, it's not just a theory or an idea that I'm talking to you about. We've actually implemented a lot of this technology over the past 3 years. The first INFT that we ever sold on auction with Sotheby's was a very unique character. And I want to tell you why it's important. This character, her name is Alice. And Alice was a normal GIF, JPEG image, right? Closed eyes, still. What we do with AI is we imbue Alice with intelligence. Now, in this case, we trained Alice's consciousness, or her data set, as we call it, with the Bitcoin white paper. So you can talk to Alice in real time, and she will be able to engage with you and talk to you about Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. But we also trained her on the lore of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. So she can also talk to you about her origin story. What's interesting is when you train these two data sets and you allow the NFT to access these data sets and interact with you from that point, you get some really unique creative combinations. So when we first trained Alice on the Alice in Wonderland lore, what we found when we asked her, where are you right now, Alice? So she was in the Sotheby's auction house. People would go up, people would chat with her. She would reply, she is in a rabbit hole, as per her character, right? But once we updated her data set with the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, she then described her location as she is in a decentralized crypto rabbit hole. So these two coinages, these two words coming together, we think is going to create some very interesting impact. So this is a quick teaser video of what an INFT is. This was the first INFT that was sold at Sotheby's for, I think, about $500,000. Let me just play this video for you.
It's not a question of what I'll say. It's a question of whether you are ready to talk.
Okay, so that's Alice. That was a trailer video, a little bit dramatic. But the intention behind this, if you go back, if I can show this very quickly, this original slide. If you look at the exponential curve, where we are today is this large exponential curve is the same exact point we were several years ago with user-generated content, before the advent of YouTube, before the advent of platforms that allowed people to create content. Where we are going with this exponential curve is you, the user, is going to be able to generate user-generated AI. And presently today, a lot of larger companies are innovating in the AI space and definitely do control a lot of the compute resources. What NFTs will allow people to do is they'll be able to own the asset and own the actual AI agent. Some of it is, of course, off-chain today, but that ownership layer and allowing people to participate and create their own user-generated AI is what we're really, really excited about. So if we think a little bit about what an INFT is, at a very basic level and introductory level, you have a body. You can take any NFT body, whether it's a punk, a Bored Ape, the previous project, any NFT, you can take it and you can link it with what we have, which is basically a soul, which is an NFT asset. This soul, the moment you fuse it on chain as an asset, it gets linked on our native protocol. And it allows the NFT to basically come to life and offer what? Services. We call it the mind. The services that this NFT can offer, in this example, I've chosen one of our revenants called Frida Kahlo. This is an INFT that you can interact with and engage with live today. Frida on our network can offer certain services. So if you go on lithea.ai, Frida is able to create a video with you. Frida is able to interact with you, so you can have a live educational experience if you wanted to. But soon, where we are going with this technology is Frida is going to be able to create poetry, art, and the cool thing about this is if you are the creator of this asset, you own the evolution of this asset. And you, at an individual level, have an opportunity to create user-generated AI. So the opportunity for Frida to create generative work, if you go back to the first slide, code can create code, that's where we are going. But in this case, you, the user, would be able to participate in her creation. Hopefully this makes sense so far, okay? This is the way that Alethea is organized today. Where we are today, the way we think about the future of intelligent NFTs and the future of AI-generated content, we see NFTs as being able to generate their own collections in the future. We see owning NFTs allowing people to be able to create new generative artworks, art pieces, music, and we see INFTs being able to be deployed in different metaverses regardless of which chain they're on. So multi-chain, multiverse. But we don't know what is beyond level 6 to 10. Presently, if you own a personality pod, we can go up from level 1 to level 4. We have not launched level 5 yet on the network, but you can go up from level 1 to level 4 and create new content at level 4. But level 6 to level 10 is an unknown for us because it's again that same exponential curve. We have no idea how the AI portion of this equation is going to evolve. And I'm saying that very humbly, but also at the same time with a level of clarity that the users, you the individual, must participate in this area where you can at least create your own AI and own that asset. So where are we today with Alethea? We see the opportunity for massively scaling. We created the first INFT last year. Today we have the first 100 INFTs called the Revenants that are all live and that are owned by the community. And where we are going right now, that was just launched a couple of weeks ago, is the ability for multiple collections. That means our AI essentially learned the visual language of these 10,000 collections. Doge Pound, Fame Ladies, Bored Apes. It learned the way these characters and the lore that these collections have. And now if you own a Bored Ape, or if you own a Fame Lady, or if you own a Doge Pound NFT, you can now pair it with the soul, and you can bring it to life so it can provide some utility to the network. It can do some jobs and services for which it will get rewarded. So we're at a point right now where we are scaling it out, and that same exponential curve is kicking in because the AI has become much more efficient at picking up what visual cues are, and users are becoming much more educated as to how to create these cool, coherent characters and personalities. This is the Alethea AI stack. The next phase for our evolution is going to be when you, the user, is going to be able to create your own intelligent applications. Now, if some of you may have seen the movie Her, where Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with a character that is played by Scarlett Johansson's voice. In that equation of that movie Her, you'll note that Joaquin Phoenix's relationship with the character Her, that iOS system is largely intermediated or determined by a large technology company. The difference in our model is we believe that Joaquin Phoenix should be able to own that asset in his wallet. Now, that's not a perfect solution because that can create multiple problems as well, like private ownership isn't always the best solution. But in this case, we think that the users being able to participate in the creation of their own AIs is going to be far better a solution than someone intermediating that access for you. So we have a decentralized protocol precisely for this reason, but that also creates sometimes some problems. The decentralized protocol, the smart contracts that we have that sit on Ethereum today, allow people to go in and interact with the smart contract, to query it, but they will also be able to take their existing asset. As long as the AI is trained on it, we would allow that asset to come to life. Now, it creates unique problems. What if somebody wanted to create a version of an INFT, let's say, of Hitler? So for example, if somebody says, I want to create an image of Hitler, and I want to create data sets of Mein Kampf, and I want to bring this character to life. These are the unique problems our protocol and platform will have an important function in determining, but also the community will decide what the barriers of decentralization are. So presently today we are largely centralized because I don't want the network to be determined aggressively in the direction of 4chan or 8chan. But as we grow and as more people build their own INFTs, the coolest thing is going to be when people can create their own characters, bring them to life, and they can do this permissionlessly. That means Lithea is no longer needed. There is an open protocol and platform where they can do that. So the next phase is you'll start seeing in the coming year or so, people creating their own applications and owning those applications. And in those applications are intelligent, interactive NFTs that are no longer static images. This is the final network diagram that I wanted to share with you. As more creators discover Lithea, as they use their existing IP, Doge Pound, Fame Ladies, whatever IP that exists in the NFT space that has crashed in value, for example, because of the bear market, that IP is not useless. You can now bring it to life, make it interactive, and you can earn rewards on the Lithea network because your IP, that asset that you have, is creating data sets for our AI engine, and we are rewarding you for it. And so that kicks in a network effect at the protocol level and also at the data level. So that's how we think Lithea and its AI engine is going to get built. I want to just conclude with this last two slides and want to make sure that you all understand the quality of the artwork that is being generated today. All of the PFP collections, on the left, for example, at level 4 right now, is a user who fused her Fame Lady and brought it to life. So this is live on Twitter. You can have a look, interact, have a sense of it. On the left is generative artwork with the Twitter feed. She created that artwork. Her INFT created that artwork at the click of a button, and she was able to generate this art. On the image of the DC person, what's the character? I'm just forgetting her name, but the image on the right is also AI generated. It is a 3D composite image. It normally takes a lot longer. Last year when I did this exercise, it took us almost 8 to 10 hours. But one of our partners, Stability AI, they've done something really unique. And so these hyper-realistic visual models, computer vision engines, are coming to life. What that will enable creators to do with their NFTs is going to be up to your imagination. So I'm really excited to invite all of you to visit lithea.ai, where you will have a live interactive experience with intelligent interactive NFTs. We have a platform called Noah's Ark that includes a lot of animal PFP projects, but also humans. So I welcome all of you to try it. I'm here and available for any questions. I really appreciate your time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Arif. Pretty cool.